Hey traders, Nick here, looking at NVIDIA, the new king of tech apparently, reporting earnings after the close today, which is in a few hours. So today is an update for markets, but it's almost like everyday update for NVIDIA. All right, so these are the lines I had already chalked up. I can't remember when I drew these, but a while back, since I haven't done a video on NVIDIA in a while. So obviously this high was met and exceeded, so I think, let me see if I can move this down a little bit. This was my target on a breach of that, and it's on its way. Now, gaps and all of that. So going into earnings, first of all, I'm going to go with the consensus is that this company is hitting on all cylinders in many, many facets of the new tech, including self-driving cars, AI, video, obviously, and all kinds of processors to mine this and that. So needless to say, the bullish thesis is wide, and it's hard to short just from a fundamental perspective. So it comes down to picking entry levels, and this is not an obvious entry level for obvious reasons at all-time highs. So if I'm going long for years down the line, maybe, but if I'm trying to play the earnings, I usually, first of all, let me preface that, I believe that any earnings trade, the short-term reaction for the earnings, I've said this 1,000 times, has nothing to do with the quality of the report or the quality of the company. Case in point, Caterpillar, Booking.com yesterday, Priceline, they beat and they still fell 7% just because they were a little bit cautious in second quarter when the whole market is cautious. So, and a whole bunch of other companies, examples I can use. And sometimes crappy reports get bought up to high heaven. GE, I remember going up 6%, and then the next day they fell down 10%. So it doesn't matter what they actually deliver with regards to quality. It's what people expect and what they find scary. In Caterpillar, they loved what they saw. They loved the conference call. They spiked the stock until one sentence from a CFO. Boom, down, and took the whole industry with it. The XLI suddenly became the most hated sector. This is to say that the overnight reaction, the short-term reaction to the earnings headline is binary at all times, meaning it's a coin flip. However, we can do some homework to see if we can guess where they go and where they stop and where they slow down and all of that. And I have information. All right, so obviously it's at all-time highs. The options market can give us a clue as to where traders think it's going to go. They're pricing at about a $17 move, plus or minus. So if I wanted to take a long bet or a short bet, I want to stay within that range. I don't want to go beyond it because I could guess the right direction, and if I guess the wrong size of the move, I still lose money. So if I wanted to bet, I would use the most safe way is a debit put spread or the debit call spread out in time, say 2-3 weeks at least, not the one that expires tomorrow. Unless there's a great advantage, I just can't see these be cheap enough to where I want to do that. And buy it near the line, meaning near the money, for a chance to double. That's the easiest coin flip, and I stress the word bet. Just like Vegas, you go, give me red, give me odds, even. Having said that, the range is $17. So if I want a cheap way to play it, I'd go within the $17 towards the outer edge, say $15 away, and I'll buy a call spread or a debit put spread. Or if I'm really aggressive, I'll buy calls or puts, but that makes it a real gamble, right? The better trades are set after the information is out. All right, so what does the open interest show? I've been looking at open interest for a long time. Most times they're really correct. But on earnings, the headline, if there's something unusual, they will ignore whatever the heck there is in the open interest and they'll do whatever they want. So me reading the open interest, that's just me interpreting the open interest. There's no immediate support. In fact, there's no support until the worst case scenario happens because of this fast rise. People are caught wrong. Okay. So there's downside pressure because of that to $254.50. So, it's so minute. I mean, I should probably drill down here. 254.5 is probably the first stop. 250.5 is the second stop, meaning there's pressure to those levels. 246 below that, and even down to 240. I'm not saying it's going there. I'm saying because of this fast rise, that's where the natural pull is. And then we have support below that. So I don't rely on support from the open interest at all, just on where the bulls are going to jump in. And to me, looking at this, This has been the neckline, so I'm going to put a line there because usually people like to fight over older lines because obviously it was a point of pivot, and if you look back, holy cow, I don't know if that's politically correct anymore. Wowzer. Here we go. So a point of contention, area of contention, so around the 240. I'm not saying it's going there. I'm saying if it's going to fall, it's going to have several steps of those levels I just mentioned, and then probably this is the strongest support it's going to have. Resistance, you have a small bump just above current price, and there's nothing until 264.5, and then 269, and then 275. 269 and 75 are really strong resistances just from what's in the market right now. So these are my notes on NVIDIA. It's a good company, so if I wanted to go long anything, a good bet, I'd want a long-term bet on it, kind of like an Apple, to where if it falls on earnings, I'm saying, you know what the heck is that? You know what? I can stay long in it for the long term. Price to earnings, 55, not cheap, but this is trailing 12 months. So if you're looking at forward revs, it's not that expensive given the growth it's delivering and given the outlook that everybody has for it. So I don't look at profitability for growth companies, and in this case, it kind of has a good balance of both, kind of like Google, kind of like, what is that going on in this office? There's a electronic noise that's driving me crazy. I can't figure it out. So this is the story on NVIDIA. I want to say higher, but gut tells me we might give back a little bit, but who knows? All right, Nick signing out. If you have any questions, sellspreads@gmail.com.